What's up, student athletes? I am so glad that y'all decided to watch this pod episode, y'all. It's gonna be so good. We got an ex-MLB player giving y'all all the tea, okay? Like all the tea. Giving y'all tips on what college recruiters are looking for, insight on what it takes to be a professional, and also, we can't forget the mindset that you need to have if you wanna make a D1. I know you guys are gonna get something out of it. I'm so glad you're tapping in. It's gonna make you better. It's gonna help you adapt, adjust, and win. Okay? Love y'all. It's gonna be good. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my pod where I'm pushing positivity, purpose, and peace to all student athletes to help y'all adapt, adjust, and win. Tonight, we got a special guest. I met him at a few NFL alumni events. Super cool, super humble. He is a Washington State local. Yes, sir. Played baseball at Rainier Beach High School. Also a former MLB player, pitcher for the Texas Rangers. And then I got to go to my list because you're a part of so much. Founder and CEO for Chipin, Vice Chairman for Seattle Housing Authority, Vice President of Seattle Seahawks Booster Club, and board member of the Association of Professional Players of America. Welcome, Gerald Smiley.
Amen. Appreciate you having me here. Every time I've seen you at all of our events, I've just, my wife and I love you. We cherish everything that you're doing. We support what you're doing. We support your vision, and we know where you're at and we know where you're headed. So, I'm honored to be on your show tonight. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. One of the things I want to say, you shouted me out, is I really admire your humility, like seeing everything that you've accomplished and how you still choose to be humble and serve the community and talk to different people. Because we all know those athletes, like we don't know what they've done because they won't let you forget. And you wouldn't even know that you are a part of so many different circles and spaces. So I want to commend you on that. That's really awesome.
I appreciate that. All glory to God, though, but I appreciate that.
Yes. Do you feel like as an athlete growing up, were you always humble, or did something or someone have to humble you?
I think a little bit of both, mixture, right? You're grown. You grow up in an environment where people push you to be the best version of yourself. And when you do that, and God's given you some talent and He's blessed you with talent, then He asks you to go multiply that talent. And so when you surround yourself with players as good as you are, better than you when you're young, it really pushes you to a higher level. And then you start to really see, okay, I can do this. Okay, I do belong here. And then, there's some cockiness that comes along the way as a young athlete. No one can get away from that. That's just reality. And but people saw something in me, and then they said, okay, let's not scale him all the way back because he might lose some of that, but let's harness some of that, right? And it was coaches, and it was people in the community, it was NBA players who just really looked after myself and to just say, hey, look, kid, you have what it takes, but you need to do this, and this in order for you to really get there and get where we're at. And it humbles you in a very fast way to understand, hey, listen, these are future Hall of Famers talking to you, for one.
Right.
For two, they're doing what you want to do someday, so you might want to listen. So I go back to, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it really comes down to athletes are athletes, but competitive athletes are a different animal when it comes to just being an athlete.
Right. And you mentioned a little, like you got to have a little bit of cockiness, or you said you had it. Do you think that there is a difference between cockiness and confidence? Like, what is the difference? Because I feel like athletes get that confused, especially the young ones. I feel like you need confidence, and that's not cocky.
Yeah, you do. You gotta have some dog in you too, though.
Yeah.
It's a dog eat dog world. If you don't got the dog in you, you're gonna get eaten. So the difference between cockiness and confidence, I think, it's a gray area, right?
Right.
I'm so cocky that I know I'm going to be great one day. And
Mhm.
I always ask people when I go to speak at high schools, colleges, sports teams, prisons, juvenile detention centers, no matter where I go, raise your hand if you want to be good. And everyone raised their hand. And I said, raise your hand if you want to be great. They raised their hand. I said, raise your hand if you want to be a legend. They raised their hand. I said, time out. You can't be all three. I need you to pick one. Because
Mhm.
good's not good enough anymore. Great's not great enough anymore either. There's a lot of greats out there, but it's not good enough.
Mhm.
Do you want to become a legend in your industry, yes or no? And once you identify that, that's where you need to wake up every morning and mirror your purpose with your why and say, you know what? I don't want to be good. I don't want to be great. I want to be a legend.
Facts.
Because I want to separate myself from my competitors. I want to separate myself from the rest of the world. And I don't
Mhm.
care what somebody on the outside thinks about me. Now, as long as I can be humble enough to know that I'm grounded in my faith, I'm grounded in where I come from, I'm grounded in knowing while I'm going to continue to push and get where I know I'm going, I'm still going to go help somebody else and bring them along the way with me.
Yeah.
I think that's a humbleness that everyone should carry.
Yeah.
But you have to be so dang cocky while marrying that humbleness
Yeah.
inside of you to
Yeah.
say, you know what? I don't care what people think about me. I'm still going to become a legend, whether they like it or not, because
Mhm.
God did not give them my vision. Period. Point.
Right. That's good. No,
The
I love
vision,
that.
the vision wasn't given to them; it was given to me, and it's my job to take that to where my higher power says, take this blessing that I've given to you, young man or young sister, and you go multiply the talent that I gave you. And if you don't,
Mhm.
and if you don't, on your deathbed, your dreams and goals, they're going to stare at you and say, why did you never give life to me? You and I could have done a lot of powerful things
Facts.
before you left here if you would have just gave me an opportunity to do that.
No, that's good. That's good. I think the caveat to what you're saying is what you mentioned earlier as well, knowing when to listen. So you gotta be like, okay, I'm him or I'm her. I got this dream. I don't care what nobody says. I'm gonna put in the time. I'm putting the hours. I'm gonna watch film. But like, okay, this person who's been where I'm trying to get to is speaking. Like, let me be humble enough to take their advice, to see what they have to offer. Because I think sometimes, like at least what I see with younger athletes, they're cocky and sure, okay, believe in yourself, but they don't listen. So maybe that's the missing key. What do you think?
And I agree with you, but do you know why I feel like you're right also is why they don't listen?
Hmm.
Let's reverse that word, listen. It's the same letters as silent.
Hmm.
Listen. Listen. Let's go Silent. Silent.
Hmm. Hmm.
So most people, when you talk, they're talking in their head, not listening to you.
Yes.
So right now, when I'm talking to you, you're probably saying something in your head, whether you're saying, "Ooh, he's good," or "Ooh, that's a nugget,"
Hmm.
"Oh, he's tripping." I don't even know what the heck he's talking about. No matter what you're thinking right now, when most people talk, they're talking to themselves internally too.
Right.
Therefore, they're not silent, and therefore they're not listening. I believe there's a difference between hearing and listening.
Yep. For sure.
Doesn't mean I'm right. That's just my opinion. So when we learn the craft and the skill of listening to become silent, and
Mm,
then these two come together to process,
yeah.
then you're onto something. But so many people are so quick to plead their case,
Yes.
be defensive, offensive, whatever you want to call it. Like, are you even listening? And I think let's take sports or to a whole nother
Mhm.
level and talk about relationships.
Right.
So if your spouse says something and you hear your spouse, did you really listen to your spouse? Did you take that in and say, you know what? I hear you, but I'm listening to you and I'm going to respond effectively
Hmm.
and I'm going to do better or be better or make a change or stay right where I'm at, depending on what you heard and what you're listening to.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, whether you're an athlete, whether you're in business, whether you're in a relationship, listening is the most powerful tool that God gave you, in my opinion, doesn't mean I'm right, besides your brain, because the brain is the most powerful tool God gave you, or whatever you believe in gave you.
Mm-hmm. No, facts. I totally agree. That's good. Pride sometimes, and insecurities as well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Sometimes to get that perspective of yourself shattered can hurt you, right? But we all know, like, when you get that shattered, now you got the foundation to grow. Now you
Yep.
see reality. Okay, maybe I'm not as good in that area as I thought, or maybe I could bat higher, maybe I could swing better, maybe I can run faster, maybe I could shoot better. So it's all a part of the process. And
It
I
is.
think
It is.
I think the more student athletes realize that, the more they can give themselves grace and be like, yeah, okay, like my coach is telling me something, like let me take it and for what it's worth and try to apply it to my game.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. In
Yeah.
today's society, the brain gets shifted to he or she's picking on me as a coach. Why is he or she calling me out in front of all my peers? Like, and I coached college for 8 years, and I scouted for Major League Baseball teams for 7 years also, and I've seen a plethora of things go on in the brain, and I'm like, okay, well, when your coach stops talking to you, that's
Right.
that's the problem.
Yes.
That's when you should worry. When they no longer care to help you change,
Mm.
that's the red flag. Wow, my coach might have given up on me because he or she is no longer giving me life, pumping
Yes.
life in me and trying to make me better. They might have checked out and gave up on me. And then second of all, it comes down to you feeling stupid, dumb, or embarrassed because you got checked
Mm-hmm.
in front of my dogs, right?
Right. Right.
Or in front of my teammates. How
Yeah.
dare this coach call me out? That's the wrong mindset. When you can put yourself around better situations, you can put yourself at different tables and you can put yourself in different rooms of people who are smarter than you. That's when you're really going to get to where you want to get to. But when we're young and dumb in college or high school and we're not educated enough, and I don't say dumb meaning that in a bad way, it's
Mm-hmm.
I mean that as we're not educated enough to swallow
Yeah.
that corrective criticism that we really do need. And
Yes.
that coach is not sugarcoating anything, and that coach is just being blunt because that coach
Mhm.
doesn't want to sugarcoat this with you.
Right.
And he or she, as a coach, does not have time to worry about how you feel about my message.
Right.
Right.
There's.
So let's take it in instead
Mm-hmm.
of feeling embarrassed in front of everybody. Let you like, you know what? I appreciate you, coach. You just challenged me.
Yes.
You
Exactly.
just challenged me to be better. And you know what? You were right. I did dog it. I should have ran all the way to the half court and then touched the
Mm-hmm.
baseline and ran all the way down on the other side and came all the way back. Or yeah, you know what? I should have done that burpee right. Or you know what? I should not have been late at the weight room at 6:01 when you told us to be here by 6. You know what?
Right.
You're right. You're right. My bad. I'm gonna be better. But that
Right.
comes down to most athletes not wanting to be accountable
Yes.
for when coaches call them out.
Yep. And that's what blows my mind, Gerald, because I'm like, you say you want to go where, D1? You say you want to go pro, but you can't do your homework on time. You can't do the little things. Like, I don't think there's like a cognitive disconnect to where you think you can have this habit or behavior and get this result.
Yep.
Like, do you know that people who have gotten here have done X, Y, Z consistently over and over? And it kind of, I get kind of offended sometimes. People be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go D1. I'm gonna get a scholarship." I'm like,
Yeah.
do you know what that takes?
Facts.
It's not on accident. So I agree.
And
You
I
said,
look at,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I look at what you just said as building a house. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna build a whole house from bricks, I gotta build this beautiful brick house one brick at a time. Period. I'm gonna take this brick, I'm gonna lay some concrete, I'm gonna put some cement in between them, some mud, and I'm gonna put the next brick. And I'm gonna lay the next brick and the next brick and the next brick. And I'm gonna do it so perfectly and I'm gonna perfect it. At,
Right.
at the end of this phase, I'm gonna have this beautiful brick house.
Mm-hmm.
And I liken that to one day at a time. one day at a time. And what does your day look like? Because you want to become a Division I athlete, you got to love what you do. This is a job. There's
Yep.
nothing fun about waking up at 5 in the morning, 5:30, and walking clear across campus and making sure you're on time at 6 a.m. workouts. There's nothing fun about that. Do you love what you do? Do you love waking up and walking clear across there? And then you better not be late or that door is closed. And if you make it on time, you are going to be so sore walking back to your dorm room to go shower and change. And guess what else you have to do, Nia?
You got to go to weights or something.
When you go back home and shower to your dorm, you got to walk clear across campus and you're sore.
Yeah.
You are sore. You got to walk clear across campus. And guess what else you have to do? You got to stay awake in class because you're so tired.
Yeah. Look,
you can't fall asleep.
Y'all better get some snacks. I was a snack queen to stay up.
So after I'm done with class, then guess what I got to do? I got to go to practice after that. And then guess what? When I'm done practicing, I either got to go put in some more work because if you're a Division I scholar, there's only 20 hours in a week that I can work with you, but I need you to work more than 20 hours a week because if you don't, I don't want you here next year. So let's reverse that language and say, you know what? After practice, you should do some more practice, and then you got to go study because you got to test tomorrow.
Exactly. And you got to take care of your body. You got to find time for treatment.
And you got to wake up and do it all over again tomorrow. So there's nothing fun about this. This becomes a business in college. So if you don't love your everyday grind as a high school student, don't think you're going to flip this switch as soon as you get to college and be like, you know what? I love this. It's not going to work. It's real.
No, it's so real. I mean, there was times in college I was like, wait, God, like, is this really what I want to do? Like, this is a lot. Like, it will really test you and test your why and everything. So I agree. Yeah, if you don't got it in high school, I mean, there's always time to change, but you have to be realistic about what's being asked of you and what's required to be in that space. So,
and what's your why? You just touched on it. What's my why?
Yeah.
But your why has to be bigger than you as a human being. Whether you're an athlete or not, your why has to be bigger than you as a human being. Doesn't mean I'm right. That's my opinion because you can wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't want to go to the gym. I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yep.
And then you wake up tomorrow and you feel the same way because you're stuck in this mindset. And it's crazy how it's called mindset. You got to set your mind.
That's good.
It's called mindset. So if you don't set your mind the right way every day you wake up, you can crush yourself. You can give up on yourself. You can fail yourself. And you will limit yourself if you don't set your mind right every single day with the right intentions, knowing your why. Is my why bigger than me? Because if it is, I'm not going to quit and fail on someone that's bigger than me because I am failing them, not just myself. But people got to get to that point in their life, and I understand that. There's no 18-year-old that just wakes up and like, oh my God, my life, everyone else is bigger than my life. We're not programmed that way.
Yeah.
But I would pray and hope that whoever's listening to this right now while we talk, find your why. Why do you wake up every day? What's your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish? Marry those two together. You become unstoppable, and everything outside of what you believe and what you want to go do, all the haters, they can't stop you. It doesn't matter. You're unstoppable at that point.
Yeah, 1,000%. Your why is so important. What was your why? You went to high school, Rainier Beach, as we mentioned, and then from high school, you were going to go to college, Florida State. Yep, Florida State, and you decided to go pro. What made you make that decision?
Well, for me, I didn't like school. I'm gonna keep it real. I didn't like school.
Right.
I didn't like the books they were shoving down our throats and say, believe this book. And because we said it's true, it wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah.
And sports really kept me grounded and it kept me pushing. And if it wasn't for sports, I don't know who I'd be today because I might have given up on a lot of things in life and I could have went other directions where my friends and other family members had turned to. And by the grace of God, my parents kept me in sports and it taught me reality. It taught me so many different things, teamwork, leadership, adversity, how to handle things when things don't go your way, but still how to push and persevere and be resilient. So for me, I was like, you know what, let me just take this route right now. I want to become a pro right now. I don't want to go to college because people go to college to become a pro.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, let me just do this now and let me grow up and learn and mature. But I do wish that I would have went to college at least 1 year and grown up a little bit and matured and learned my body a little bit little bit better also. Learn my body a little bit better also. But the decision that I made was the best decision, to be honest with you. I met a lot of people. I networked. I had 3 surgeries in 5 years. After so many surgeries, you become a bad investment to the company.
Yeah.
You got to go, right? And when you make certain decisions have to be made from upper management. So that was my life. But baseball and relationships and friendships taught me a lot. I played basketball and football growing up. I played all 3. I had scholarships for football, basketball, and baseball for all college levels. And I just thought baseball was my quickest and fastest route to go achieve my dream.
Right.
But going back to figuring out why I chose that path was, if I go to college and get hurt, I'll never have an opportunity because they don't want me after that.
That's good. That's good.
Like, you see kids go to college all the time and get hurt and never sniff their dream of becoming a professional. I wish NBA will go back to saying, you know what, if a kid is ready out of high school, let's take him. WNBA. If she's ready right now out of high school, let's take her.
Well, I don't think anybody would want that though, because we don't get paid. We don't get paid that much to just not have a degree, in my opinion.
But see, I would wrap your 4-year scholarship into your signing bonus as a WNBA athlete. If you're ready right now and you can compete at the highest level with these girls, cool. Right. Let's do it. And if something happens and you don't make it, and or you do play for 15 years, cool. We'll still pay for your 4-year degree whenever you feel like it. Doesn't mean you can't go pursue your college education in the off season.
No, yeah, that's true.
I would battle and fight for that if I was someone's agent on the WNBA side. If she's ready right now, let's go. Like Brittany Griner, let's throw her up there. You don't think for 1 second she couldn't have played in the WNBA right out of high school instead of going to Baylor?
Right.
She could have went to college and got her degree in the off season.
Right.
But what if she got hurt and tore her ACL or whatever happened, MCL or whatever, in college, and she never got to become a pro? Then what?
I mean, that's literally my situation. I was in school for 6 years. I had a redshirt year because of an injury, and then I had a COVID year. But I was in school for 6 years. That's 2 years more than the normal person. I didn't get to play pro because my last year I got hurt, herniated disc with my back. So you're preaching to the choir. I mean, I was good enough to play pro. You feel me? I will never know what that is like. And at this point in my life, it would be a force for me to go back for me, or to try to pursue professionally. But
I still challenge you to do it.
To play pro?
Yeah, I challenge you. You have no idea what God can do for you if you walk into a tryout and you're in the best shape of your life, and they're like, wow, where does she come from? She's a non-drafted free agent. She's free.
Right.
She's free. I don't got to give her no signing bonus.
Right.
Oh, her skills are blowing out our other guards or forwards or whatever your goal is. I challenge you on this call right now to say, you know what? I believe in you. I've seen your muscles out there. Right?
Right.
But I challenge you to say, you know what? I'm going to do that, because if it's your passion and it's your why and it's your purpose, you will go back and train, and you'll still work where you work, and you'll still do the things you do, but you're going to carve out more time to getting back on that court and dedicating yourself if it's a real passion of yours. And there's not one I challenge you to go try for every WNBA team. And I will guarantee you at least 2 out of the however many teams there are to say, you know what, I will take a chance on you. Not a risk, because it's not a risk. I will take a chance on you, girl, because I believe in you. And if not, guess what they'll do? They'll do you like Gary Payton II. Do you know what Gary Payton II did?
No.
So Gary Payton II went to all these tryouts and no one took him. So he went to the Golden State Warriors and he wanted to work in the film department.
Oh, wow.
I work in your film department. And then he went to a tryout and then they took him. He was sold on giving up on his dream. He was just going to be in the film department, giving film and breaking down film. No, but now look at him. So I liken his same story to what you're doing. And God's asking me to talk to you right now while we're on this, to go do you, and don't you give up until all those doors are closed on you. And then when they close them, if they close them, you say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be here as a player, but you know what? I can work in your front office.
Mm-hmm.
I can work as a scout. I can work as a coach. Put me anywhere, because they see your work ethic. They see your charisma. They see your character. They see your morals and values, and they see how you carry yourself as a woman and as a human being. And they're going to say, I want her in my organization. That's just me. That's just God talking through me to you. It's up to you what you do with that. But he just told me to tell you that. High five.
Right. No, I appreciate it. That's definitely something to chew on. I'm gonna have to go back in the lab with that.
See, a lot of people give up on their dreams, and I did that. When I got done playing, I should have went into the front office. I coached and I scouted, and then I gave up because of multiple reasons with my family and my children that I had at the time, and my ex-wife. But I should have pursued that front office and all the other things. But I said, you know what? I want to stay here, and I don't want to do that. But going back to you, you're not married. You don't have children. Go for it.
Right.
Knock down every single door until you get there. You're going to get there. And you know what? I'm going to call it right now. What is this? 2000. This is September
2023.
Yeah. September 22nd, 2023. You will be in the WNBA by 2000. You will be in the WNBA by 2026 if you follow your dream. Whether it's a player, a staff member, it doesn't matter. You will be in the WNBA. And what my point is, so many Division I athletes give up when they don't make it to pro, and then they want to settle and go get some other job. If your dream was to go play in the big leagues, you can still be in the big leagues as a coach or as a manager or as a scout, or if your dream was to play in the NBA, you can be the film person. You can be the person that handles all the travel for the athletes, but you're still in the NBA.
That's a good point. Yeah.
There's so many different angles you can take. Yeah. But as long as you didn't make it as a player, you're like, okay, my dream's over. I'll never get there.
That's good.
And we all do that to ourselves internally as athletes. That's just normal. We got to go get a job. We got to figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
Everyone else on the outside of us are telling us what to go do with their lives. So we should give up. No, don't give up. Keep going. You can still get to the NBA, the NFL, MLB, soccer, WNBA. But it might not be as a player, but you can still get it.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Don't give up on that.
I like that. That's good. Thinking outside the box. I like that. So I have another question for you about your baseball career. Baseball is really hard to get into. I've realized, like, scholarship-wise in college and making it to the pros. A lot of my friends that I have that play baseball or softball, they're like, it's highly competitive. How do you get seen or the visibility in baseball that you need?
Yeah, good question. I mean, first of all, if you're good, they're going to find you. They're called area scouts. There's a scout in every area in every state in the country. If you're that guy or that gal and you're competing and you have the tools and you match up to that grading scale that the 20/80 grading scale puts on you, they're going to find you.
Right.
And scouts talk to other high school coaches and summer league coaches, and they send out brochures and they send out mailers and say, hey, if there's a kid in your area, fill this out, let us know about such and such, so on and so on. They're going to find you.
Right.
Baseball is hard because it's a very expensive sport.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball bats are 300, 400, gloves are a couple hundred, cleats
Right.
are 100. Travel to fly around all these tournaments, hotel, airfare, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But you just got to work on your craft. If you're spending hours and hours and hours and hours beating on your craft every day, someone's going to find you.
Right.
In
Right.
today's society, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have all these different sites.
Yeah.
You can put your video up, tag coaches. We didn't have that when I was growing up. I graduated in 2001. I think we still had MySpace. I think that's all that we had. I think that's all
Mm-hmm.
we had was MySpace, and it was whack. But there
Right.
wasn't no college coaches on MySpace. You know what I mean?
Right.
So today's society, like, handle your business, keep your nose clean, keep the stuff off your social media.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be posting pictures of red Solo cups or white styrofoam cups with your friends on Instagram, because the scouting departments are going to be like, oh, there's probably alcohol in that. And the reason they think that way is because Sprite or Coca-Cola or Pepsi or orange juice, whatever it is, they have their own cups, their own branding. You poured something in that cup. That's the first thing they're going to think of. So let's stay away from the things that you shouldn't put on social media for somebody else to say we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to take a chance on you, especially in the baseball world.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at colleges and they have scouting departments where they have social media departments, and they make fake accounts. And if I'm going to go recruit this young man from Houston, our scouting department or social media department will make a fake Facebook page or Instagram page of this, copy and save on my laptop any image of a really cute girl somewhere in the world.
Right.
And as long as I go request all your friends to be my friend,
Mm-hmm.
once I send you a friend request,
Wow.
you're like, wow, we have a lot of mutual friends. Ooh, and she's hot. She's really cute.
Right.
She's
Right.
cute. I'm gonna let her into my world. And
Mm.
sometimes that is the college campus just trying to dig and see what you're up to in your everyday life on your social media. Do I want to give you this scholarship or not?
Right.
I have two of my head coaches have called me into their office and said, hey, look, we're pulling such and such scholarship, and here's why. And those two coaches, it was because of their social media and what they put on there.
Wow.
It's very detrimental. And
Yeah.
going back to your answer of, baseball's hard, it's competitive. It is competitive, but I think all of these sports are competitive, especially with social media today, because as soon as I want to get rid of you, I can find the next person. Just like in the corporate world, as soon as I fire you, I put your job posting online, I hire somebody tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're all just a number.
Yeah.
But we got to be careful what we do with this number while we hold that number.
No, that's so true.
We're all replaceable.
Mm-hmm. Because it's too important. Like, it's these coaches' jobs on the line. And if they have any inclination that you're gonna be a problem, yeah, it's over. Like, we gotta win. We gotta get championships. We gotta have a certain amount of wins on
Yeah.
our roster to keep our job. So yeah, I didn't. It makes sense when you say that, but I didn't know that coaches are actually doing that. That makes sense. That's smart.
It's a business.
It's a business.
If I give Mrs. Alexander $5 million a year to be the head coach of my university,
Right.
you can't monitor all these things by yourself. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So how is Mrs. Alexander going to make the best decisions for our university
Exactly.
on and off the field by herself? She can't wear that many hats.
Right.
It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I paid you the $5 million a year to go put the best team on the field or on the court and focus on being the best educator and best coach and best teacher and best mentor and best whatever else they need you to be for those children.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to go do everything else and monitor everything that's going on off the field.
Right.
I didn't pay you for that. We have other people that we pay to do that for you.
Right.
They're called assistants without you knowing they're your assistants.
Right. Seriously. Seriously.
That part.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's
It's
good.
real. These kids just put anything out there and think it's cool, and you just shot yourself in the foot. There's 2 kids I'm working with right now. I got a kid in Oregon. He's a great kid. Doesn't mean bad at all, but some things he puts on his Instagram, and the little quotes you can put on your Instagram up top
Mm-hmm.
daily, or your notes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I see him, and sometimes I'm like, "Yo, bro, stop, take that down. What are you doing?"
His
And
story.
he's like, "My bad. No, stop saying my bad. Just quit putting that out there.
Right.
You can't let the world know every single thought that you have when it comes to
Yes.
things like this. So at the end of the day, it's just people will bury you, and they're called haters. If you're up to something good and you're doing better than them, they will find every opportunity on your social media to figure out how to bash you.
Right. Seriously. Seriously. And like you kind of touched on earlier, you're representing so much more than yourself. The university isn't going to represent you if you're representing things that don't align with the image they want to give out. So
Correct.
that's huge. Like, is what I'm about to post going to be representing my future school well, or my future self well at this university? Would this make a donor want to give me some bread, some money? Like, probably not. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So
The
yeah.
last name on your jersey, the name on your jersey, on the back of that jersey, you represent that family too.
Ooh, yeah, that's so good.
What morals and values did they give you, fool?
Right, right.
Like, what are you out here doing?
Seriously.
Right? So most people, when they wake up, they don't understand that is important, because our ancestors way before us gave us this name,
Right.
and they've paved the way for us to be who we are today in the rest of society. And then now you tie that into whatever university you're going to, or a junior college you're going to.
Yeah.
What you just touched on, are we in alignment when it comes down to those things? So there's a lot of coaches that'll come in your room or your living room and lie to you, pump you full of fluff. You're going to do the best things at such and such, and you're going to play all these minutes, and you're going to do this and this. And I can guarantee you, Mrs. and Mr. such and such, that your son or daughter is going to be an All-American. And I can guarantee you that if you come and play for us here at Georgia, that we're gonna take care of your child, and we're gonna feed them right. We're gonna give them an NIL deal. No, stop right now, because when you get on campus, the whole narrative changes.
Right. It's so true.
You sold me a dream in my living room on my couch for my mom and dad to believe what you said.
Yeah, that's all good stuff. I know for me, when I was growing up, there are certain things I didn't do because I was like, I don't want my dad to see this. I don't want my mom to see this. I want to represent our last name well. Like, people know my family in the community. Like, my dad hooped, my mom hooped at UW. Huge basketball family, athletic family. They coach AAU. So it's just a lot of people that know them, know me because of them. And I kind of always like, I gotta make sure what I'm putting out, you know, well, like, I want my parents to be proud of what I'm putting out. You know what I mean? I didn't want to just think of myself, because at the end of the day, like you said earlier, it ends up shooting you in the foot, and you end up losing credibility, and you end up being seen in a light that may affect the opportunities you get too.
Amen.
How people treat you, especially as a woman. Like, today, I think we're really sexualized, and
Yeah.
young athletes are seeing that, and they're like, "Oh, this is how I get money. This is how I get attention." And I
And
think
that's
colleges are seeing it too and taking advantage of it, recruiting people with huge followings because it brings more status and fame to their university. But if there's any young athlete watching this, I would encourage y'all, like, to not rely on your appearance to get certain things. That's fleeting, like, to be seen as just an object. That's how you're going to get treated. People aren't going to take you as seriously. But if you can put your worth and your value and who you are as a person, and your education and what you do on the court or on the field, that's going to go further than you look good, because there's going to be a time you don't. And then what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's days you're not going to look good, but there's days you're not going to feel good, or days you're not going to play good.
Right.
But how do you get back to the reason why I'm here and what I'm doing for the team?
Exactly.
And that's what I want to touch on, the team. There's a lot of athletes who come out here and they're not for the team. Look, there's not one team out here that's you're bigger than. I'm sorry. I don't care if you play volleyball. Actually, let me take that back.
Mm.
Wrestling, yeah, it's one on one. It's solo.
Right.
Tennis, solo tennis. I don't know about rowing. Is rowing? No, rowing's not an individual sport,
Yeah, I
is it?
think you have people behind you.
Fencing, you're by yourself. You know what I mean? But
Golfing.
golfing, any sport that's not an individual sport, you got to figure out how to come together. And I have a team in Redmond that I work with. They're 11, and they understood this before I even told them this. Like, it's not about you; it's about everybody here.
Right.
But you have to individually work your butt off
Yeah.
outside of here, and when you come back together, all of you guys are better and you're stronger together and you're stronger in numbers. But if you're not doing what you need to do outside of practice, you're not doing your best. And I hate it when people tell me, I say, yo, what'd you do today? Oh, I went to practice. Did you work hard? Yeah, I worked hard. What'd you do after everyone else left practice? I went home. Oh, so how the heck did you get better than anyone? You did the same thing as your teammates, fool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's
How'd
good.
you get better?
Right.
Your teammates did the exact same thing as you. They ran the same amount of sprints or whatever exercises or whatever weightlifting program. Everyone, come on, man, let's shift the mindset, set the
Yeah.
mind to shift the mindset to
Mm-hmm.
get deeper and go be that legend that I asked you to raise your hand on earlier. And don't be great, don't be good, be that legend.
Yep.
You can't do the same thing everyone else did in practice. You're never going to separate yourself. There's no division there.
That's
Don't
good.
divide yourself as a player from your team, but
Right.
divide yourself as a player from your talent level from your teammates because you're going to take the talent that God gave you and you're going to work on your skill set.
Right.
You were born with that talent. You can't take credit for that talent.
That's no. That's good.
You
That's
can
so.
take credit for turning that talent into bigger skill and saying,
Mm,
thank you, God, for giving me the passion and the work ethic to take what you gave me and take it to another level. But you
right.
can't be happy and satisfied just because you're born with talent. Talent don't get you anywhere other than a shot at something. Then you get separated when the skill shows up from everyone else who got talent too.
Yes. I love that. That's good. That's good. No, I have nothing to add on. Like you said it perfectly. I agree with everything you said. That was
Okay.
definitely tea.
Fire.
Yes. Right. Fire emoji, fire emoji. Clap your hands. Yeah, no,
Man,
that was good.
that was good, but you made me dig deep and grab something out of me to say, you know what? Just be real, lean in,
Yes.
and just say what you need to say. Like you asked me the questions to lean in. I appreciate that
Thank
because
you.
people need to hear real stuff.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. But yes, we are. This was so good. I wish we could go longer, but my computer and my camera's dying. So, so I appreciate you so much. This was so good. I know people are gonna get blessed by this, get a lot of tea. Um, until next time, appreciate y'all.
likewise.